Let's get start demo first of Firebase authentication or complete login flow in Blazor Hybrid App. So here my application got running. So here once I running my application, so you will see first actually you are able to see my login screen says like if I refresh, so it is going to the login screen because without authentication it is going to the login screen only, right? So what I need to do, I will just create a user. So once I click that create a user, so you are able to see the registration form. And once you already have a login, so click on that, you will go back to that login form. Similar things we have to do for here as well, right? Android app. So if it is not logged in, you can just create a new application, and same things we can do in our window application as well. Now see, you can register, and if it is registered, so you can just logged in. So let me create a new user for first, like whatever the user. So my first user, for example, demo 123 at the rate gmail.com, and that name password would be my default password. So this is my default password, and once I sign in, so see, this is just fail because as of now we don't have as a login, right? What I will do, I have to just create a new register. I have to register new user. So just let me add first name, or I get it is a username. So whatever username, you can just add it over here, and then this is that email address, whatever that email address you want to create it, and then password would be whatever my default password. So this is my default password. Once I registered, so see it is registered, and once you register done, so it is redirect to login page, right? And then once you login page, now go to here, login that user, right? So let me log in with that user. So my user would be demo at the rate 123 gmail.com, and my default password. So this is my default password. Once I sign in, now I am able to see that it is logged in, and once you logged in, it is going to the dashboard page, and in this dashboard page you are also able to see that logout button appearing over here along with your logged in user. So whatever logged in user, you're able to see this is that username appearing on the top. Similar actually you can see over here as well. So once you refresh, so still you can just logged in with that user. So demo 123 at the rate gmail.com, because I just created that logged in new user. So my default password is this, and sign in. So once you sign in, you're able to see the desktop app also same functionality, like they have that logout button along with that you know that user whatever lives there. So same things we can do over here. Just try to log in that demo 123 at gmail.com, and just logged in my default user, sign in. So once you sign in, it should be logged in along with, see, that logged in user over here, and this is that other navigation using that logout button, and you are able to see over here. So if you once you log in, so once you click that hotel list, so you will see whatever that hotel list over here, that will populate it only authentication user. Without authentication user, you are not able to see this guy, right? So like that, similar, you can just click this guy, you will see in the desktop app, you will see that uh, data. And also if you go to that hotel list in that web application, also they are rendering the data. So once you log out, so see, once I log out, it is log out, and just try to click on login, so it will redirect to over here. So this is a complete flow which we will implement over here. And see, once the hotel list, if I click that hotel list without authentication, right? So see, it is as of now it's not logged in, so it is saying you are not authorized, right? Similar, you can just check it for desktop app as well. So just logged out and logged in and click that hotel list, you are not authorized, right? Similar, you can just logged out from mobile as well. So logged out, go to here, and if you click that hotel list, you are not authorized, right? So this complete authentication flow we will implement in Blazor Hybrid App using Firebase, right? So let's get start implementation. So before implementation, I'm especially recommend if you first time visit my channel, so go to my channel, which is .NET Real World Example, and here I'm especially one session will be recommend because which we have covered in last time, right? So this is that one. So if I this guy, so Blazor Hybrid App use with the Firebase DB as a complete management system. So here actually I shown how we can implement Firebase DB in the Blazor Hybrid app, so that whatever the DB connectivity and DB store the DB, we can store in a Firebase DB and directly we can get and insert, update, delete everything we can handle only that client app, Blazor Hybrid App, right? It's for all that platform. So that's why I'm using this guy. So I'm especially recommend please go through this guy because I'm taking same session and we will authenticate it after complete this now complete management system with Firebase DB. So let's start. So this is that same example I already shared in my Firebase, not Firebase, I shared in my GitHub link, so you can take it from there, right? So I already open. So this is my open applications over here which have nothing. It is has just uh it is a .NET MAUI project, and this is a web project, and this is a shared shared library. So this is actually the project structure of the .NET Blazor hybrid app, which is I already explained, so I'm not going to details. So let's start to implementations. So before implementation, I want to show you how actually what is that existing application is look like, right? So let me run it from that window application and run it. So now my application got running. It is saying whatever the default page, right? And whatever platform is running, it is saying okay, it is desktop running. And once you click the hotel list, so it will rendering that list of that hotel from that Firebase DB, right? So this is that existing behavior. It does not have any authentication feature till now. So now we will implement that. Okay, so now close that and go to that solution, and everything actually we have to implement in this shared library, so that this shared library actually take it that reference from that all cross platform, means like Android app, mobile app, and iOS, Mac, and web application as well, right? So everything we will do over here, right? So what I need to do, first of all, actually we require some packages, right? So for authentication of Firebase we required one package. So go to that NuGet package over here, right click on the shared library, go to that package section, and here first actually I'm looking that Firebase authentication package. So this is that one package which we required over here, which will handle all the authentication. There's a other also admin package also. We have a Firebase admin package that we will use in later, but yeah, as of now we will use this guy and just install this guy. So once installed, we have required another package that is called local storage, right? So let me check that one also, because whatever token we will get, we will store in our local storage, right? So we require this Blazor local storage, right? So yeah, so this is that guy. Just install this guy and applied. Now it's done, right? So now we are good to go to start to implementation. Whatever other package we required, we will add in later. So go to that shared library, and here we will create one folder that is a, we can say, the custom authentication. So let me create a new folder over here, so that whatever our authentication mechanism, we can keep it in that folder. So let me make it a custom auth or authentication, whatever we want, we can just use it. Okay, and here I have to just create one account management so interface, so that whatever account management things we required, we can keep it in this interface only. So go to that class, use that interface, and choose interface and make it that name is I account management. Add it. So now it is internal, so make it a public. And in after that we have to require we have to create some method. For example, register, login, logout, and check authentication, right? So first I will just create, I'll just create a register method. So before register method, I have to require, some response, like whatever the register method or login method will be returned as a response. So that response we have to just create it. So let me create a one model over here. Inside this model, let me create another response model. So let me call it a form result, right? And this form result, make it that public. And in this form result, I will require two property that is called is, succeed and error list. Like if it is succeed, so it will return a succeed. If it is error list, whatever error, we have to add it over here so that you can aware actually what is that happening. Okay, so like this way we can do that. And once you done, now go back over here. And now first I will just create a declaration over here, that is registered. So whatever new register, which will require email id, username and password, based on this we will register the new user. Similar, we have to just logged in user. So for that logged in user, we have to require email id and password. So based on the email id and password, we can logged in that user, right? So this is the declaration we will implement as well. So after that, we have to record one logout. So this is that logout, which will nothing returning over here. And then the uh, final method would be over here. Actually we require as a check authentication, right? So if it is authenticated or not, that actually we will check for using this method. So this four method we required for this complete authentication, means this login flow, right? So now just start to implementation for that, whatever is on account management things. So we will implement one by one. Like first we will register, logged in, logged out, and then check out things, right? So for this actually we have to create a implementation class inside this here. So my implementation class would be name over here. Let me create that. Go to here, class, and just add it to custom authentication state provider, because we are using a custom authentication provider over here. So that's why I make it name like that. Okay, and just we have to actually require that component, actually authentication state provider, we have to just inherit over here, right? So that is also we have to add one package. If it is not adding over here, now see, yeah. So now we record a one package. So let me look at that package. So package name is this guy. Actually this guy we required. So install this package, Microsoft ASP.NET ASP.NET component authorization, right? So let me install this guy directly, or you can just go to that NuGet package, you can add it, search by that name, and you can add it over here, right? So once you're done, now it is done. Now one more thing actually we have to do over here, that is we have to inherit that that interface, so that we can implement over here. So let me inherit that guy, I account management system. And also it required, see, it is required the implementation. So let me use the default implementation. So this is the default implementation. So once I extract all that implementation, so it is saying this is that method default is a, by default is a implementation is not implementation exception. So that is all done. And still one error, right? So what is that error? Actually it is asking we have to implement that abstract class, right? So let me import that also, right? So see, once I done, now see, automatically actually it is override method. Once we have to use this abstract class, so we have that override method, so that every time if our custom authentication provider call to this method, once I try to authenticate, so it will checking, okay, what actually exact our feature now, means it is user authenticated or not. That actually we have to make that we will to maintain our in this method. Okay, so let me just cut from here from top and just down to in the end over here, this method, the check update method. But yeah, there's no any impact, but yeah, I'll just make it this way. Okay, so now this is my our default method. Now we have to start the implementation. So first of all, what I have to record, actually few property we have to record in this class. So one is that this guy, right? So this guy actually we have to require that authenticated property, right, which is it is saying it is authenticated or not. And by default we have to set, okay, this is that claim principal which is unauthenticated, because by default is a default claim identity we have to adding over here. So if user is not authenticated, so we have to simply return this claim principal, so that we can know, okay, this is not authenticated, that user, right? So that's why we have to edit this guy. And then we have to require that client. Okay, so let me create a constructor over here of that class of this custom authentication provider class. And here we have to record some client, right, which we have to import we have to import this guy, right? It's Firebase authentication. So we have a we have that client, so Firebase auth client, which will provide that register, logged in, and sign in things over here. So see, so I have to just using this Firebase auth client, which is coming from this Firebase auth, right? So and just make it that variable over here, and just inject it inside this constructor. So make it a private field and just assign to over here, so that I can use it for this guy. Okay, and now one more thing actually we required, the local storage, because uh, we have trying to use actually the token which will be keep it in a local storage, and we can read it and we can use it. So for that also we have to record that I local storage, right? And that also I just import that package, right? So let me create this guy. Okay, so now we are good to go to use this Firebase auth client and local storage. So now we have to start the implementation of that get authentication state provider, right? So first we have to this guy, remove this guy, right? And by default we have to set on the top, it is authentication is false, right? Because by default is false, and once is authenticated we can set it over here. And also we will set that current user, means by default a user it is unauthenticated, right? Which is we have to set over here the default claim identity, right? So that's why we have to set over here. And then we have to we have to get actually the token, right? So we have to get the token. So for the token what I need to do, I can just use await, and then whatever our local storage service be using that get items, right? And then whatever items actually we have to store in this token. As of now we have not stored, but yeah, once I logged in, so we have to get that information of user, we will store in this token. So like this way actually we will just passing that key. Based on this key actually we can get that the user information, right? So let me just passing as of now. Okay, and then we can just store as a variable. So let me call it to this guy like this. Okay, and this is done. And what is that return type? Actually we have to return that auth information, means whatever user information, like user has a token, user has a expiry date, user has a many things, right? So for this I have to just create another model which will just return that response, right? So let me quickly create another model inside over here which will response that auth user, means we will just deserialize that whatever token, whatever actually user information we store in local storage, we have to just deserialize using this response, right? So that's why we have to just create it. And inside here actually we required one info class which we have required some property. So let me just create, I already handy, so that's why I just create, see, I just create a info class, and which we have a id, display name, email is verified, or photo. This is a user related information, so that we have to create it for as a info. And then also this is a two things actually which will return in this token, means once a user logged in, so these two information is a user information and also user credentials. So credentials what we have, id token, whatever the token, whatever the refresh token, and once it is created, expiry in, and provided type. So these are things actually provide once I sign in, and then we are getting. So that's why we have to store in our local storage, and then we have to deserialize for this class, and we can use it over there further, right? So that's why we just creating this guy. Okay, so let me just create it. Okay, so whatever just info and credential we just created, and we can use it this class in our here, so that whatever token actually inside this information means this local storage, so we can just deserialize directly inside this using this get items, right? And I can get it from here. And one more thing, actually we have to do that over here, we have to use the try catch, so that if I using any error while doing that, so we can just capture in our error logs. So we can just make it to this, and as of now just remove, and you can just adding log, adding error log or handle error as per your convenience, right? So as of now I'm not handling something, so yeah, that's why I just mention over here, so that you can just use it in our application. So once you're done, so what I can do, I can simply see this is that condition, right? So we required just tab it. Okay, so just check it. Okay, if user information is not equal to null, then what I can do, I just simply set the some claims, so which we are getting from here user information. See, so I just creating a claim, initialize that claim, list of the claim, and whatever that user information, so I just storing over here. Like as of now we have email ID, and also I just keep it email, so you can just also use that as a name, as a ID, or name as a display name, or email as a email, so as per your, so you can just edit over here, right? And then later, actually here, later we will use as of now we don't have a role based authentication, right? So it is a, I make it a simple, but yeah, in later we will have, also we can get that in a roles of that particular user, and then we can add it as a roles as well in this claim, so that we will do in a later, but as of now keep it over here. And then finally what I need to do, I just simply, I just create a where ID, I have to just create a ID, a new claim identity, and inside this claim identity, so whatever claims I just edit, just I have to add it. And also we have to just know whatever that authentication type, right? So we have to just make it whatever authentication type in this here. So my authentication type is here custom authentication provider, right? So that we are trying to use, so we can just make it over here, and that's it, right? So once I just created this ID, means this claims identity as a store as ID, and then finally what I can do, so whatever user I just created over here, see, this is a default an authentication user by default, right? So in this here I can set it that user, it is new claim identity principal, and this principal we have to accept this ID, so identity, right? So that's how actually we can identity, okay, over here, so that that user has a claims, and that we have a sign over here, so that now the whole application, once I using that claim principal, I will get that user information about that particular user. So like that we have to do that. And then finally on that authentication flag we have to set is true, right? So which we have already first initializing as a false. So that is done, that means this user is authenticated, and this user has a information, right? And then in the last, means once if something is a error, or if it is not succeed over here, so in the last what I can do, simply I can return as a uh, claim authentication state is a user. So whatever user, if it is not, we don't have information of that user, so directly it will pass it to these things, and this is just an authentication user, right? So that's how actually we have to implement this get authentication state over here like this. Okay, so once is done, now we have to implement this guy, like check authentication things, right? So the check authentication things also nothing, just we have to call this guy, right? And authentication also, whatever that authentication things, we can just pass it over here. So simply what I will do, I'll just using the await get authentication state method, simply call it to this guy, And why I'm creating this method, I'll tell you once I just implement in our login and logout form and registration form. So that we have to record actually this guy. So that's why I just created, and thus finally we have to return whatever this authenticated is authenticated or not. That's based on this actually we can just set it over here. See, this is that global variable. So if it is true, so it will return as true. If it is false, so it will return as a false, right? So this is also done. Now we have to start implementation of that register, right? So let me bring back the new line so that you can see clearly. So registered also, it is simple, nothing, whatever actually we have to injected this Firebase auth client, it have as a register matter. So let me quickly use this await using that Firebase client, and here there's a many method over here like sign in with email, sign in here, but yeah, I will use this create user with email and password, right? So and also see it is already intelligence is asking okay email ID, username and password, right? So also just make sure it is a correct order, right? But it is not a correct order. See, the first parameter is the email, that is fine, but second parameter is the password, but I am just passing that username, so that is wrong. So make sure it should be a correct form, right? So yeah, like this way, second is a password, third one is a username. And once you're done, right, so once you're done, definitely I have to get this information, something I will get over here. So I'll just keep it as a over here as a result, right? Let me keep it over here, and also we have to wrap it to as a try catch so that if any exception, so we can just capture and we can use it, or we can show that user. So let me wrap it to here, and also I have to I have to add some error as well. Like so, if some error, so default error is occurring over here, so I'll just add it over here as a default error so that user can see only just default error, not exactly that error. So that's why I'm just using this default error, right? So that we can just returning back to over here, and if it is succeed, so what I will do over here. So if it is succeed, so I can simply return as a succeed. There is a with this no error, right? So this form result we see, this is return type is a form result, right? So I just simply return as a succeed. If it is fail, so what I will do, I have to just simply return the false along with that error. So this is the default error we just assigning over here, so that user not can get anything. But yeah, as per our requirement in the application, so we can set whatever that has a error, right? So whatever error message we can just store over here and we can assign to over here as well. Those are things also we can do. But yeah, like this way, this is a very simple way. Let me just bring back so that you can see it's simple. I just store the default error and then call this create user method. Whatever result we are getting, based on this we just return success, and if it is any error, so we can just passing that error and all, right? So this is registration also done. Now final things we have to do that for logout. So that logout also it's very simple, uh, similar like that login, right? Registered. So again what I will do, let me, where is that login? Yeah, this is that login method, implementation method. So here just first just wrap it to a try catch block, okay? And whatever just I don't want to throw the exception over here. And here again we just using this Firebase client auth client, and in this Firebase auth client we have sign in with there's a many method actually. See, sign in with the credentials or sign in with the email and password. So I will use that sign in with the email and password, and whatever that user email and password, we can simply pass it to over here, and this is my password, and that's it, right? And also we can just store as a variable over here. So let me store as a variable, and using it is async method to decorate with the async await, right? And once it is done, so now this time we have to check actually. So if it is logged in successfully, means sign in successfully, So that time what I will do, I have to just checking something over here. So this is my checking over here. See, the result has a user information, and that user also has a ID. Like this is the unique ID, that particular user. So it should not be null. If it is not null, then what I will do, I have to just using await and using that local storage. So let me use that local storage service, and here what I have to do, I have to just set that set async, right? And in this set async, whatever that no key, so whatever key I'm just using to get, so I can take it from there. So if you go to here and just bring that new line, right, this is my user, this is my key, right? So that I will set it over here so that I can get it, right? So set over here, make sure that name should be same for both, all of the place, right? So on here, and then finally what we have to just storing over here, we have to just storing that result dot user. So whatever that user informations, right? So that we have to just storing over here. And if you see, go to that user, go to that user, see that user has that information like UID, this, and also credentials. So info and credentials, these two things actually we required. That's why I just keep it that user, and once I keep it over here, then also we can deserialize once getting over here, right? So like that actually we can just set it over here, and then we can get it. So once I set it, after that we have to notify actually in our uh, enable custom notification, right? So we have to use notify authentication state change, right? This method we have to just call our, you know, this method like get authentication state method. So this will actually change the, this will actually call again, and it will check, okay, okay, so once you logged in, so is this logged in, so you will get that again the token over here and checking, okay, if it is available, so it will adding the claim and return back to user and set it that principal, right? So like this way actually we have to notify it, and once you notified, simply we have to send back to user, okay, so this is succeed, means we are getting a success result, right? And then if it is not succeed, so simply we can just store or we can set as a something default message, it is succeed fails, and along with invalid username and password, and whatever that exception you are getting, that also we can store and we can assigning over here, right? So that's all. Yeah, one last thing's actually pending, that logout things, right? So that logout things also, which that is pretty much simple. What I need to do, so I have to, because see, the all things actually we are working using with this local storage, because whatever user information we have to just manipulating and we are using, because after login we have to set it, and then in authentication state provider we are getting as well, right? So main things first, we have to just remove this authentication token from that local storage, so that user should not get that token and they definitely redirect to our login page. So like this way what I will do, so go to logout section, and here let me await, and then local storage service, and remove items async. So this is that also we have method, and simply that token name means that yeah, that key name we have to pass it, so that they can remove first from there here, right? So that is done. Now second things also, see, if we logged in, right? So if I logged in, so once I logged in, so say Firebase authentication client also actually storing that informations, like what the user information. So we have to logged out also this Firebase client as well. So how we can do that? It's simple. So here first, before that, we have to check over here if that Firebase authentication client dot user, right? So this user not equal to null, right? So if it is not equal to null, then I can use it. But yeah, before that we have to just using this, you know, question mark, so that it should not be throw the exception if it is null, this client as well, right? And here simply dot, we have a method sign out method, so we can sign out from client as well, right? So like this way we can sign out, and once you sign out, again we have to call this notification state management, so that we can notify it and we can tell, okay, now principal claim principal has what that current state, right? So where is that guy? Okay, so here. So yeah, just call this notify authentication manager, right? So means whatever perform you're trying to do, like suppose you're trying to logged in, you have to logged out, so you have to just notify it, because in login nothing we are doing, but yeah, from log register nothing we are doing, but login and logged out we are trying to manage that state management, right? So that's why we have to calling this guy. So once you done, now our all that implementation is done, like registered, logged out, check authentication state, authentication authenticated or not, and logged in, right? So once it's done, now we are good to go to use this this one in our pages, means our login page, our register page, right? So what I need to do, I have to just create a few pages, right? So go to that page section, and in this page section you can just create another folder that is called is account related, right? So we can just make it account, and in this account we have to create a few component, for example login component, register component over here, right? So first I will just create a register component. Let me create a register component over here, and that component name is a register or registration, whatever name prefer, you can just use it. And in this registered, what I need to do, first I just decorate over here uh like that. Okay, so this is a registration. So once it's done, decorate that, the route of the registered, so we can just further implementation. So what is my further implementation? I have to inject, or I have to, yeah, I have to inject that whatever actually that service we have to just create it, right? So if you go to that services, not services, we have to go to custom authentication, right? So the account management has all that method, right? So we have to just inject it, that account, I account management as I injected over here. So let me quickly inject it, and we have to import as well. So instead of importing over here component level, we can keep it to our global level. So where we can do that inside that import.razor files, we can just use it, the namespace on this here, so that we don't need to declare every component, right? So another things also we required, that navigation manager, so that once is registered, so we can navigate to other place, right? And yeah, one more thing actually we required, that because see user, if user try to run this application, so first time we required the checking actually what is that current state. So based on the current state, if it is not logged in user, or you don't have any user token in this local storage, so they will redirect to login page. So by default it is a redirect to login page if it is not authenticated user. So such kind of things we have to actually create another component, but yeah, that will do later. But first let me create a registration and login one, then we have to just create that guy. Okay, so like this way we will do that. Yeah, so what I need to do next, I have to just prepare our form, right? So before prepare the form, actually we have to just create a one model, like a registration model. So let me just create a one model that is called over here, inside this model. Let me create a model name as a registered model, or sign in model, or sign up model, right? So let me create a sign up model. So whatever name you can just prefer, you can use it, feel free use it. And here whatever actually we property we required, we can just keep it over here, so like that. And also we have to make it, okay, this is the required field, this is the required field, this is the required field, so that the validation automatic will handle that, and data annotation validation will handle automatically, right? But yeah, up to you. if you require any custom validation and all, we can do that also. So now once it's done, now go back to over here, and simply I have to just assign or initialize over here as a registration model over here as a property, private property, and few other property also we have to require, like for example, if any error and all, so we can just storing over here. So UI perspective, right? And then we have to record one class, so that if you observe, once I show the demo, that spiner actually, once I click the sign in button, spiner actually going rounding things, right? So that actually we handle using this dynamically, right? So once you're done, and also I'll show you one things, we can use it, yeah, that we can use it later, but yeah, let me use it. So see, I'm using you know storing as a variable, and this is that actually getting that image. So if you want to handle any image in your registration form, so you can like that actually. This is it is a good things actually, learning perspective. See, it is a shared library, right? So this shared library working for across that, all the platform. So in this shared library, how you can get that images and all, so this is that way actually. So all that static image you will get that contain, and then whatever that your name is space, and then you can get it that image. So where is my image? I'll show you. I have whatever image inside the www root, you can get it like that. Okay, so this is another things, the nice things, you can learn it. So once done, now we have to just create a now one method. So let me just create a one method, example as submit or registered, whatever up to you, we can use it. So yeah, we can use or sign up also fine, right? Sign up. Once you sign up, so now further actually implementation we can do that. Let me just start that, then after that we will use first I just set it that spiner is now that spiner class. So I just class, and after that we have to use this, okay, call our method. So what is that method? Act dot method. Here whatever email, username and password, that we have to just passing over like that. Just pass it that email ID, email, username and password. Close it. Then you can store it, with the wait, and we are getting that result. If it is success or fail, on this we over here. So if it is success, what I will do is simply redirect to our uh, login page, because it is registered, right? So once you registered, redirect to login page. And once you logged, if it is not registered, means if any and all, so is condition, tell condition, simply I just remove that spinner class now things, and then adding that result, whatever the result error, add it over here, and then we are good to go. Now we are design our registration form. I have already handy, actually it's just simple as a edit form, nothing else. So this is just registration, and this is edit form, and we are using that whatever model, and we can calling method and validate method, my validate method. And here we are nothing, just we are using whatever image, see, that image we just getting over there, so we can edit over here. And then this is that username, this is that email address, this is the password, right? Also one thing actually, demo, that is not there, that we can edit, and rest of things we are good, right? So this is that password, and this is that another button, the link actually, it is already logged in. So where actually we have to redirect to, it is redirect to login page. And if it is submitted, so this is that submit button, it is the one submitted, so it will comes over here, and it will do the further it's done. That now login registration form is done completely. So once it's done, now we are going to create another one that is called is on login. So we have to just create another component that is called as a login, right? So let me just create a login inside this account. Go to here, component, and we have to create that login razor page, right? And again, same things we have to do that. Like first we have to decorate, we have to set that route. So my route would be as a login, right? And then again we have to just use that two things we required, because over here also, so these two service we have to just inject it over here, right? And once it's done, also one thing actually I missed that, so that I will add it later, but yeah, let me complete this one. So what I will do, I have to just again just call this service and calling that login method, and we have to just implement in our here first. So again, just using that property, spinner property, class property, right? By default is that, and then we have to require sign in as well, right? As like we just create a model sign up, so we have to require that sign in model as well. So go to create a new class, call it to sign in, and now make it public. And we require that now two property over here, or whatever property we required, we can just keep it over here. For example, this guy, right? So email and password we required, so go back to over here, and now other things, yeah, now just set it over here, or just initialize uh, that sign in model, right? So this is that sign in model, and also we record one property for that error handling, right? So that user can see that error. So once it's done, now we have to just create another method which will do sign in, right? So we can just do login, just login whatever things actually we required, we can just keep it over here. And again, first we have to set our spinner class over here, so that once I click, I can see that rounding uh, navigation things. And over here again, I have to call this guy. So let me call this guy dot logged in. So this is the login, and in this login, what we required actually that sign in model has a email and password, so that we have to just passing over here as a email and password, and we can just store it over here, and further we can just implementation that. And also it is a sync method, so simply I can just using await, and that's it, right? And then again we have to just checking if it is logged in, right? So if it is logged in, so what I will do, simply redirect to some pages, right? So we have to redirect to our where actually we want, so we will to redirect to our the root pages. So this is my root pages, and then once is fail, so let me show that error list over here and clean that guy, right? So like that actually we can do that. And one more thing, actually see this error we have to edit, but we have not shown here actually where actually error will appearing, right? So that error will should appearing on the top. So for that we have to simply using as a conditions, like whatever error list is length is greater than 0, then iterate that, because it's the array, right? It's the array of the list. So whatever array, whatever error, so we have just binding over here as a iterating through, right? And so once it's done, now we have to just create a login form over here. That's it, right? So this is again, it is very much similar to sign up one. So this is edit form, this is a data annotation validation, right? And this is that email address, this is password, and again this is that link. If it is already if don't have a login, so you can just create it a new user, like this link. And also this is a submit one, right? So now login and submit has been done, right? So now we are good to use this login and registration, right? But yeah, one more thing actually, yeah, one more thing actually, we record that logout, right? So let me just complete that logout as well, so that we can just run our application quickly and see what the behavior, and if any error, so definitely we will look into that and we'll fix it. So let me just create a logout button. So logout, not logout button, logout component actually. So logout, and again we just decorate over here as like we have done before. So this is that logout, and in this logout we have to record this guy. So this is that, and also we can use that navigation as well, like if it is logout, so just redirect to our login page, right? So that we can do that. So for this, what I will do, I can just use this guy. So let me add this one also. So once it's done, now we are good to go. And then log out, what we have to show over here. So yeah, there's a two-way actually. If you want to show that logout screen properly over here, so that we don't require this navigation manager, like if user logged out, so it's shown, okay, you have logged out properly, and then you can just use that click that login one, you can go back to login one, right? So like that actually you can do that, but yeah, I don't think we require that. Okay, so what I will do, simply just log out click we can handle as well. So yeah, so yeah, just keep it simple as of now, but yeah, we can make it a complex way as well. So what I will do, simply I have to just using a view, auth view over here, so that I can just checking the authorized view. So this is that authorized view, and also we have to bring that namespace. So this is that bring the namespace, and so we can just keep it this guy to our main one, right? So go to main one over here. That's it. Now go back, and here what I will do next I have to just on initialize this component overload. Let me create a overload method, and on initialize method, on initialize async method, on initialize async method, and on initialize async method. Now here actually see, in this here we have to require that check authentication, right? So that's why we have to just create it. So let me show you what does mean. So if this method means that e and c, this is the check authentication. So here we have to check, okay, if it is authenticated or not, right? So if it is not authenticated, and also we have to decorate with await. So right, see, this is returning true and false, and here we check, okay, if it is authenticated, so what I need to do, simply, so if it is authenticated, that means we have to log out, but without authenticated it log out, definitely it will throw exception, right? So that's why we have to just checking, okay, user is authenticated means user is logged in user, yes. If it is logged in user, so simply I have to just use await act and dot act dot, we have a logout mechanism, right? So we can just simply call that logout mechanism over here, and that's it, right? So these things actually we have to do that in this logout over here. And also if you want, this is onload method, that is fine. If you want to show over here something, so you can show it, but yeah, you can redirect as well in your place, right? So but yeah, I'll show you over here what does mean. So I will just create a something so that this component shows, okay, if it is logged out, so it is logged out proper, this using this, see, I'm using the authorized view, and there's a section of the authorized. So if it is authorized, so it will show this guy login you out, right? And also if it is not authorized, so it will show, okay, you are log out, and this is that login things, right? So like this way actually we can decorate this component, but yeah, whatever the best way, as per requirement we can use it. But yeah, as of now this is fine, and we don't require this guy. So now our logout also has completed, means all that component has been completed, right? So now is the main part, right? So what is the main part? Suppose I'm just running this application, so by default it is running, it is calling actually that home, this is a root component, right? So that root component, not should be called, actually it should call the root component, but in this root component we have to decide it, okay, we are actually if it is logged in user, so go to that and our dashboard page. If it is not logged in user, so it should be redirect to our login page. So that mechanism actually we have to do that. So for that, what I will do, I have to just create app launch component, so that app launch component will handle such kind of things. And also we will use that further implementation, that app launch we required. If it is token is expire, so then also should be redirect to that page and all, right? So in this main component, main pages, I'll just create that here, that app launch component over here, right? And in this app launch component, simply I have to just decorate as a route this guy, right? And then also this is the title, means that component heading, and it should be, so if it is taking time, so I can just take it a spinner or something, actually we can show it over here. But yeah, as of now I think the loading something is fine, right? And then what I can do, in this on initialize on after rendering, whatever things actually the suit over here we can use it, but as of now I will use it on after, yeah. So see, I will use that on after render async method over here, right? And so that once complete rendering this component, then actually I want to call this guy. And here again I have to just condition again for that, right? So what is my condition? Let me remove this guy. So again I have to use this, actually this service. So let me call this service over here. So whatever account service, okay, just make it the same name so that no confusing. So go to that login page, and this is that common variable. So let me use this common variable and use this guy to over here, okay? And then we can check it, okay, if it is true, right? And also see, this is a sync method, so I can use it that await async, right? And see, it is true. If it is true, that means you can just navigate to also, actually I missed that navigation one, so let me add that navigation part also. There's a many thing actually we have to do in future, means upcoming session in this launching component, because many logic we have to do over here, right? That's why I just create it separately. So as of now we are good to actually do that, okay? If it is authenticated, right, so means user logged in, so we have to go to navigate this dashboard page, right? And else part, if it is not authenticated, so where I have to go to that, I have to go to that login page. So like that actually we have to handle. But yeah, also see, if it is authenticated, right, means authenticated means whatever that authentication is authenticated, right? So if it is authenticated, then we have to go to over here, and then again we can check it, like, okay, whatever our token, right? So based on this token also, that actually we can handle that also in our custom provider class. But yeah, up to you, you can use it. Suppose you can just inject it your service, that local storage service, you can get the token, and your token you can just extract and you can just use it over here. For example, I'll just adding some comments over here, for example this guy, right? So see, it is authenticating, that is fine, but might be token got expire, and also you can just get the token and checking the token, and based on this token also, if it is unauthenticated, you can just call that refresh token again, get that new token, and then logged in, and then you can just pass it to dashboard. So many things actually you can do that. So that's I just keep it over here. But yeah, we are actually suit, you can just keep it over here. But yeah, later on we will check it, okay, we are actually we have to do that kind of things, okay? Means once expired that whatever token is generated, that will keep it in our local, right? So once I expire that token, how we can handle generate the new token and logged in that user automatically, right? That we will do in upcoming session. But yeah, as of now we are good. Like this launch, this app launcher component will be redirect over here first time, and then if it is logged in user, so go to this guy. If it is not logged in user, so go to this guy, like that. And whatever our dashboard screen, so see, as of now I'm using the dashboard, so I don't have as a dashboard. So the dashboard skin I can make it for this guy. Where is my home component? Yeah, this is my home component. And also this is dashboard, we can just decorate as a authenticated, right? Because nobody can directly call this pages and go to that page, so it should not be called like directly, right? So for that, what I need to do, we have to do something over here. In this case actually we can set as a attribute. So this is that attribute, right? And this attribute actually tell, okay, if this component is authorized, then we can do it, otherwise you can just keep it. And also just go to means keep it these things in our common place. So where is our common place? So here is my common place, and just storing over here and go back, and that's it, right? And then same things whenever you want, right? Whatever actually component you want to restrict to directly logged in, so you can just do it over here, like this way. So what I will do, I will use this actually this hotel component also. I don't want to call directly, so I can use this guy over here. Then also home component is secure. So whatever component you want to secure, you can just secure it over here. And then the one last things actually, now component is got ready, implementation also done ready, right? So now last things actually we have to do for that route page. So see here we have the route dot razor component, and in this route dot razor component, see, right, this time just simply route and find the context and all. So we have to just modify over here something, so that our authentication provider can handle, can get it that claims, and then they can handling over here. So for that, what I can do, simply just uh, just copy, right? Or just before copy, what I will do, I can just, before that, you have to just decorate this guy, cascading, right? And also cascading, we have to just closed and the end over here. So we have to use cascading authentication state, so that they, whatever our authentication state, right, so they will actually checking over here, and then based on this actually it will routing the component. If it is authenticated, so it will redirect, or if it is not, then it is saying it is not authenticated, right? So what I need to do, simply over here, that is whatever that find context, that is fine, but only change the route view. So instead of route view, we have to change to authorize route view, right? So that only authorized route view we can redirect to that our component, means our load that component. And if it is not found, suppose somebody is trying to found this way, if it is not found, so we can just use as a not found over here, right? That we can do. And also there's a many things we can do over here, like suppose it is found this guy, if it is not found, then we can just redirect to login page. Also we can mention over here like that way. But yeah, as of now I just using is not found and something, right? So that is way, and yeah, that's it, right? So once it's done, now we are good to go to run our all that platforms, right? So for these other platforms, for example this guy, right? So if I want to run our web applications, right, so we have to just register some things, like for example, see, we have just implement many things, right? For example, uh, this implementation along with that declaration, right? So we have to register, and also we have used that Firebase authentication client, right? So those things also we have to register. So whatever client actually we have to use, so we have to just register. So here I actually have to register. Suppose I want to run our web application, so there is a program.cs file, and in this program.cs file, see, is already is a register. Previously we have to register for that this service, right? So similar things we have to register other service as well, right? So that we have to do that. So first of all, so let me make it this place. Yeah, so this is that place. So first service we have to do, for example, our builder dot this guy and add singleton, right? So let me copy this guy and add singleton. Over here we have to register first our Firebase client. So new Firebase auth client, right? So what is that name, exact name? This is that exact name, Firebase auth client. And in this Firebase auth client, what we required configurations. So that we have to do that. I already actually covered this, how we can register Firebase auth client in our .NET MAUI application, so you can refer over there. So as of now I'm not going to do details, but yeah, this is way actually we can register Firebase auth client over here. So Firebase auth client, we required, this guy, we required that Firebase auth configuration. So let me just create a auth configurations over here. And in this auth configurations, we have to record, see, there's a few things over here. Like for example, we required app key. So you can get your app key from your uh, Firebase, Firebase console app, right? And then we have to record auth domain. So you also can use that auth domain over here. And then last thing actually we required over here, what provider actually we have to use. So as of now, we have to use, or we have to actually using that email provider. So that we have to just making over as a email provider, like that. Okay. So this way actually we can register our Firebase auth client, so that I can use it in our application, right? And where you can get that app API key and auth key, I already covered, but I'll show you one more time. And it is just complaining, I think I missed something. Yeah, so this guy, so app key and authentic auth domain, you can go to your Firebase console log, and if you go to your any applications, for example, uh, you have to just create a new project. Once you create a new project, so you can go to, suppose I want to show you something over here. Suppose, see, this is that existing one. So if you go to this guy, and you have to click that authentication, and see, this time the sign in. So first you have to just whatever provider, so this is that provider which I'm talking. Actually, see, I'm using the email provider, right? So there is a multi provider. So first you have to just enable this multi provider over here. So enable this guy. So this is one thing, so you have to do that authentication. So it should be enable. Once you enable, so now you have go to that setting page, and in the setting page, authentication domain, so you can get this domain. So this is the domain. So you can just copy this domain and edit over here, right? So that you have to do that one setting. Then another things, actually you have to record that app key, right? So where you can get that app key, so you have to just see whatever project you selected, you have to see that range button. So go to that range button, and using that project setting, and inside this project settings, so see, this is that API key. So that API key you can just copy over here and just add it over here. So these things actually you have to record, right? So let me add it over here, my settings, so that I show you as a demonstration perspective. But yeah, you can create your own one and you can use it, right? So once you're done, now what other things actually we have to do that. So that is done, this guy done. And then we have to just use, we have to use that Blazor, Blazor locations, right? So that also we have to register. So how we can do that? So let me copy again this guy and go down over here, dot use add Blazor location storage. So that actually we have to just using that extension method, that Blazor over here, and also bring that namespace. So this is that bring the namespace. You can just bring the namespace over here, and that's it. So for here, actually I'll show you so that you can understand. So if you go to that custom app, go to that custom host provider, see, two things actually we are you injected, right? One is Firebase client, so which we have already done over here. And then another one is that iLocation provider, iLocation storage provider. So that also we have to just using the extension method. There is own extension method, actually that package, so that we have to use, so that they can registered and they can give it to us. Okay. And then we have to register this custom authentication provider, right? So that also we have to do that. So similar, what I can do, I can just use as a over here, So let me register directly over here, like this way, right? So see, I'm using that add scope, but yeah, as per requirement, whatever, we can use it and just bring back that. Okay, so this is not a right name, I guess. So let me copy this guy, custom auth provider, and just bring back to over here. Okay, so might be, yeah, so it is by mistake we have make it internally, so make it the public. Go back. Now we have to good to go to this class. Yeah, so now see, authentication provider implementation, actually see, this is the authentication implementation, and this is actually authentication provider. Actually, there we have to inherit, right? So that we have to just like that, first we have to do that like that, and then second we have to uh do something over here, right? So what I can do, I can just register that state provider as well with that our implementation, right? So like this way, see, so I'm using again a scope that see, and whatever that our interface, right? So this is my interface, and what is that implementation? So this is my implementation. Actually, that service actually got implementation inside this guy, right? So these two things actually you have to take in care to register. So once you register successfully, now one last thing actually we have to do that, we are using authentication, custom authentication provider, right? So we have to just register, add authentication authorization core as well. So this service also we have to do that. So once you done, now we have to go to run this application. So let me run this application in web application first. Now see, application got running, and also see redirect to our this page. So suppose once I click this guy, so it is redirect to login page only, and also see over here, right? And if I click that hotel list, now see, you are able to see unauthorized, right? This is working perfectly fine. And also once I click this new page, that is over here, right? But only issue is over here that image is not appearing. Yeah, that's fine, we can look into that issue, but yeah, as of now that is fine. Also once I click this guy, so it is gone. And also check it, validation also it's working fine. Go to here, registration, also validation working fine, means everything is perfectly working fine, right? And one thing actually I miss it, right? See, as a demo I show, this is once I logged in, so this here should be appearing the name. Yeah, so once I let me show you. First let me just create a new user and try to logged in, and then we will implement this guy. Okay, so let me create a new user, fresh user. So go to my here, and this is my application, right? And check the what are the user we have. Okay, so we have this user, right? So demo and demo 123 and kkp. So let me create a new user, for example, uh dot net real world example, right? So this is a username, and dot net at the rate gmail.com, and password would be my default password, right? And once I registered, so see, it is loading button appearing, and see, once I successful login registered, it is redirect to login page. And if you want to see, go back to that console application. See, this new login means new user got created over here, right? With this user id and all. And now I want to log in that user. So what is that logged in username? Username is uh .net .net at the rate gmail.com. And what is my password? This is my password. Sign in. So this is wrong. So .net gmail.com, might be password is not correct. So let me try to logged in. Yeah, still .net gmail.com. Yeah, might be something issue. So let me try to figuring out, so what is that issue, right? So go to this guy here and click to login, right? Because I think so it is some mismatching over here, so that's why it is just not logged in. But yeah, let me try it is email and this is password. So correct email and password we are getting or not, that we have to check it. So let me go back and sign in. So once I sign in, see my .net gmail.com, it is fine. And also password is this guy, this is the default password. And let me see .net. Okay, see my email address is wrong actually, means my username is wrong. So let me continue this guy. So once you continue, also see I want to show you something. Yeah, this is the right place actually. See, once I exception over here, I'll show you that what kind of exception actually you will, if it is login failed, so what kind of exception you will get. So once I sign in, go back over here and just continue, you will see that exception. And once you expand that exception, you will see it is saying invalid login credentials, right? That means also it is clearly saying it is invalid login. Let me show you in that quick batch also. See, it is invalid login, the response, right? And so for 400, like whatever response we are getting, we can show that user as well, right? So that's why I just showing you. And also just continue. And once you continue, let me add that right email address, right? And just sign in. And this time I should get that login. Yeah, see, once I logged in, now that logged in over here. And also we are getting the dashboard page, which is only authentication user can get it, right? And also see, once you click that hotel list, I'm able to get load that hotel list data. The previously it was not there, right? So now one more thing actually it is missing. See, once I logged in, so it should be appearing logged out button and also the display name. This implementation is still pending, right? So let me quickly fix that. And then we have to run our application in other platform like desktop as well as mobile application. So for this, what you need to do, you have to go to the shared for a share library, right? And here, if you go to that layout menu, we have that nav menu, right? Because everything is getting from that nav menu. So this is that static things over here. So that we have to change it to our things, right? So what I can do, simply just comment this guy, right? And we have to just add that authorized view, because only authorized view can get those information, right? So let me add that authorize attribute and just close that authorized attribute first. And in this authorized attribute, you have to see authorized. So if only authorize conditions, right? So then we have to just set our username. So how we can get that username? I can get it my username from here, like context, current context, right? User pin identity. So whatever identity we have added while authentication, so that we can get it as a username, email, whatever things you want, you can get it over here. And then we have to show only authorize, means once I logged in, then it is authorized and then it will appearing the name. So this is first things actually we have to do in this nav menu. And another things also you have to just do over here. For example, this is nav menu, right? And this is hotel also. See, it is by default you are not able to if user don't want to show over here actually without logged in, so you can just decorate again that authorize and authorize view in this nav menu, so that user only visible once user is logged in, right? So I actually already covered these things, but yeah, that's why I'm not covering over here. But yeah, what I need to do next, so once is this guy. And another things actually we have to add over here, logout button, right? So for logout button, I have to just create another div over here. So for example, let me create another div and just close that guy. And inside that, we have to again, we have to just create a navigation, this navigation, right? So let me just create a navigation inside that. See, this is just simple navigation which will just navigate to our logout page, because this link actually we will reach it to logout page, right? Simple. And this logout button, it should visible only that authorized view, right? So for that actually we have to just decorate again. So see that logout authorize, right? And then authorized view, and then authorized view again. authorize, authorize, authorized, right? And in this authorized keyword means authorized component, we have to show this navigation. So only authorized person can see this navigation once is logged in, right? So this is the way actually you can just handle, right? So once you save, now we are good to go to run this application and see in action. So now see one more thing actually. So once I F12 and go to that local storage, you will see whatever actually we are logged in. Why it's logged in? Because it is getting from that local storage, right? So local storage, if I directly close, so it will keep it in our local storage, and once I logged out, so it's proper logged out, right? So if it is local storage, you will see that is actually we have just stored, right? So this is my storage key, auth key, and this is that all that information. So you can see the all that informations over here, right? So that's why it is by default is logged in. And if it is logged in, so anything's whatever that user thinks is working, and also see the name, whatever name user logged in, also it is appearing over here, right? So this is perfectly working fine. So once I logged out, let me try to logged out. So once I logged out, see it is logged out, also it is removed, and also this guy also got removed, right? And also once you logged in, so it is over here, and just clicked over here, already logged in. So again just try to logged in again. So what was the my email? So that is that, yeah, it got dot, it was not .net, but yeah, it is I guess something like that. So let me check it instead of failing this guy. Yeah, this is guy, just copy this guy, go back, paste it over here, and just adding that name is password, and remove everything from here. And it is logged in, and once you logged in, you are appearing over here this guy logout button, along with this everything is working perfectly. And once I logged out, so once I click, you are not authorized, right? So like this way. And also if you trying to directly dashboard, so for example dashboard, right? So see, once I dashboard, it is redirect to a login page automatically, right? So that is why actually we have to use that app launcher. So it is automatically redirect to this page. So that is done. Now let me uh, check that other platform as well. So for this again, we have to do same things for other platform, because see, this is a two different platform, right? One is BAB application is a different a project, and that other platform like mobile, Android, iOS, Mac, Windows is a different library. So whatever things actually we have done registration from here, right? Same things we have to do over there as well. So let me copy everything's from here. Just copy from here and go back to your MAUI applications and go to that MAUI program. And in this MAUI program and the and over here, so just edit all that things over here, and that's it, right? So only whatever project you have to just configure, you have to register everything, and then we are good to go, right? And also you can just change to that project and run it first window. Now your application got running, right? And also it is by default going to a login page. If I just click over here, it is unauthorized, click at the home, it is over here. Once I click that, click here, so it is redirect to that register page. Also click over here, right? And let me try to logged in. So not logged in actually, just let me try to create another account as well, so that every platform we can check all that functionality, right? Which should be work fine. So what is for here, okay, so this is the desktop. So let me add desktop at the rate gmail.com, right? Or oh sorry, this is that username, right? So let me add over here, and what I can do here, just desktop, right? This is desktop, and here my password, what is my default password? So this is my default password, and register. So once you register, it should be redirect to login page. See, once you complete, that means it is redirect to login page. And let me try to okay, so before that we have to just make sure it is just created or not. Okay, see, this is just created. Let me copy this guy and go back to here, logged in with the email and just password. So let me add sign in. Now see, it is sign in, and also logout button is over appearing. Whatever that user, that is also appearing. Click that hotel list also getting populated, right? So that is why that is looks good, it's working fine. So similar things, let me close that and let me check it the mobile application as well. So for mobile, just let me open our emulator, the Android emulator. So as of now it is a window application, so I have emulator, but yeah, uh, Android emulator. But yeah, if do we have any Mac operating system or Apple device, so you can just using iOS emulator as well. Yeah, finally it's deployed on my Android device and it's redirect to our this page, right? Means our login page. So once what I will do, I have to just create a new user. So let me create over here, and in here what I have to do, just create a, like for example mobile. So I'm just creating a new user from that mobile. So gmail.com, and just password is whatever the default my password. So just I'm adding over here. So okay, so not this guy, this is my password. So let me remove this guy. Okay, so this is username. So yeah, always I just forget this guy. So this is the mobile, and also we have to just created mobile @gmail.com, and then mobile @gmail.com, and then the password. So yeah, what is that password? This is my password, and just finally register. So once you registered, it should be redirect to login page. So see, once you registered means it is registered successfully. So if you go to over here and just refresh, so you're able to see that mobile user also available here. And once you go to here, and if I just paste, yeah, it is paste is working fine. So just add that username and password and just sign in. So once you sign in, it should be, see the that whatever user it's logged in over here, and also you are able to see that logout button. So as of now, see that mobile layout is not good over here, but yeah, upcoming session we will fix as well. Like different layout will be used for desktop app, different layout will use for that web app, and different layout will use for mobile app as well. So that is a upcoming session, but as of now, functionality perspective, it's working fine. Also once I click this hotel list, it should be rendered that hotel list as well, right? So means everything is looks good. So now just I'll show you all that platform together. So this was the mobile. Now let me open is a Windows. So this is mobile, and let me open Windows as well. Now this is my window application, right? And also it is just login, see desktop logged in over here, right? And similar, I have to just open to our web application as well. So let me run this web application as well. So now web application nothing have, but yeah, what I will do, I have to just create another user for that web application as well, and that also with logged in, so that I can show you the mobile is different user in a mobile, different user for desktop, and different user for over here. So what I will do, simply I already have another user, so I can use it, that my main user. So gmail.com, and this is my password. So once I sign in, so now see, sign in with this KKP user, right? So let me show you, mobile is a mobile user and desktop is a desktop user. And if I click that hotel list, so it is populating hotel list as well. And if I go to their web application, populating hotel list as well, right? So that means all that platform is perfectly authentication with Firebase is working fine, right? So that's all for this session. Yeah, and upcoming session we will do more with the layout things and all everything for that Blazor hybrid app. So till now, thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.